We did a story several months ago about a man who had a stroke and turned gay. Now we have, this isn't a news story, but I've come across an article on psychology professor Warren Throckmorton's website, wthrockmorton.com, and it discusses an inverse story. It's a couple of years old. It's about a 57-year-old right-handed man who had a stroke at the age of 45, and it resulted in basically complete recovery as far as the physical symptoms within 3 months. The patient was gay his whole life, and he had become aware of that orientation in his early teens. He had several gay partners, etc. After the stroke, he found himself to be heterosexual. He just said, I'm attracted to women now, after the second stroke that he had, actually. This is interesting because, again, it is another indication that sexual orientation is not something that is environmental, but is rather it's something you are born with, and it is something in the brain. Why else is this interesting, Natan?
Well, I think that people who want to keep believing that, homosexuality is the result of an abnormal brain function could still think that after this. They could just think that this person had an abnormal functioning before the hemorrhagic stroke or whatever he had, and after it somehow normalized the functioning of that part of the brain due to just chance.
Right. So the anti-gay nuts are going to say, if someone is straight, has a stroke, and turns gay, they'll say, well, listen, you had a stroke and now you're gay. Obviously, the stroke messed up your brain. But if you're gay and then turn straight, they'll say, well, strokes are complicated, strange things, and whatever problems he had as a result of the stroke, the part that controls his sexual orientation was fixed as a result of the stroke.
Exactly.
It's brilliant, really.
But you see, if they're admitting that someone can turn gay or turn straight as a result of a stroke,
you're admitting that it's in the brain.
You're admitting that it's in the brain and that you have no control.
And since when do we discriminate against people based on things that are caused simply by their brain? We don't, right?
If you admit that this is possible and that this actually happened, you are basically denying that it's a choice. So, I mean, and these people are usually anti-science. Right. So they, I'm sure a lot of them will still argue that it is a choice, but you can't have both.
No, you certainly can't have both, but they'll figure out a way to have both, no question.
Right, and just one more point on that. The way they could argue that it's still a choice is by saying that you make the choice and your brain changes to reflect that choice after a while of having the behavior.
I love it.
Or even though you're feeling these things now, you can't act on them.
Right.